Good morning, Commissioner Williams. You sit in this position at a very particular, important time in the world, seeing what happened with the professional sports and the National Basketball Association. And then, um, with technology allowing the access to virtually anyone to gambling, we're really here talking about making sure that we have responsible uses of in this industry. I was in particular concerned about prediction markets, idea markets, or what have you. Um, and I know there's some activity in this space. Um, Really interested to figure out, how we should be thinking about, prediction markets where people can put a wager on almost any kind of activity in the world. How do we think about that? How should we address that? How should we protect New Yorkers in this space?
Well, the New York State Gaming Commission on Friday issued a cease and desist letter for Kalshi to cease operating and offering that activity in the state of New York.
Can you explain what this is? Because not all of us know.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's not.
And it's not gambling. So again, this is not my subject matter of expertise by any measure. But in some measure, what we're talking about is an entity that has received authority through the Commodity Futures Trade Commission, which is a federal entity that has its roots back starting in the 1920s or so, to provide for some stability for farmers, whether you be pig farmers, wheat farmers, et cetera, being able to borrow against the future crops that you might be able to get so that there's a stability of being able to grow and operate your business. Over a period of years that expanded out through all derivatives have been regulated through the CTFC. And ultimately, in the last 2 years, they've been pushing that. The entities that have been qualified have been pushing that a little bit harder to suggest that the law is broad enough to encompass all markets. And at first, I think we saw the introduction of that into the presidential election. And then from that, you saw some of the entities start with prediction markets relative to sports events. From our perspective, we believe that there is no necessity for a stable market to be able to trade a sports contract as to whether the Dodgers won or lost. And the opportunity that you're offering in the state of New York is actually gambling, and is not prohibited, but it is regulated and licensed in the state of New York. And that your activity, Kalshi, is inappropriate. That's the reason why we sent the cease and desist letter there. We're in litigation. They turned, not unexpectedly, they filed lawsuit against the Gaming Commission on Monday morning to try to obtain an injunction to prevent us from actually enforcing our cease and desist.
Now, outside of the sports or what have you, example, should we also be concerned about this type of commoditizing or wagering for life events, natural disasters, elections, or these kinds of things?
No, I think what you raise is entirely the right questions, which is in the market that the predictions operate, there are no regulatory controls over the offerings. Here in New York, we have some sort of strong regulatory controls as to what games, what leagues, what wagers are permissible. First of all, it starts from the authority that was provided under the law was sports, and it defined what a sports event is. So you can't do that in New York. You couldn't wager on the number of deaths in the hurricane in Jamaica, and you shouldn't. Right. Whether or not a company such in a predictions market would endeavor to go in that direction is unknown at this point, but it's certainly concerning to us and should be for basically everyone.
Thank you.